Welcome one and welcome the other one of you. Glad to have you here today. I wasn't talking about me and Taylor. That makes four of us now. We got a party. How you doing, Taylor?
I'm doing okay.
Are ya?
Hanging in there. Sort of. I'm in a little bit of pain right now, but it's okay. I'm
Uh-huh.
okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. We left the door open there. We'll just move on.
We'll just leave it like that, yeah.
It's a private joke that you'll be let into, folks. I promise. You won't miss it. I'm John Zidar. The lady behind the screen causing all the commotion is Taylor. That is my lovely co host who does all of our charting for us. I do all my own charting, but you see my charting all the time. You watch someone else chart. Watch someone else chart. Look, charting is like making spaghetti sauce. It's funny. We all have the same ingredients and no two taste the same. How can that be? So, watching other people chart, you can always pick up nuances. You can add your own arsenal. So, what we like to do here, folks, is take a look at hot stocks. You brought us hot stocks today, did you? That our viewers bring us. I do bring you hot stocks. I try my best through the week. This gives you a chance to share them with everybody else. The more people that know about it, the more people it's going to invest. Now, don't use that as a tactic to bring your own stocks you already hold here. Honestly, folks, we're trying to build a community of hot stockers. And if we all bring something, that's a lot to choose from for the next day. So we got a bunch of them chosen already. 6 are lined up. We've got the due diligence all done. We're probably going to have room for 2 more. We'll get those out of the tickers you dropped during the show. I'm sure Taylor will remind you guys through the show, at least in the comments. Drop your tickers. Bring us some hot stocks, folks. Stocks that have strong catalysts or the charts are looking good. And then Taylor's going to choose 2 of them and we'll go through the same old routine for them. I appreciate all of you being here. Monty, I don't know if you're still here or not. He has some personal business to attend to. He's normally here chatting away. You'll know if he's here. He's not one to stay silent for long. Velmore, glad to have you here. You were here early. Mark Ryan, Valentino, the underdog, Stock Wizard. Oh, that's me. Okay, he's here too. Glad to have you, Stock Wizard. Kashira, maybe we'll pick your ticker. I thought yours was the last one. Sometimes it gets lost in there, so I apologize for the tease there, but I am glad you are here. Any latecomers to the game? Mike Johnson, we got your Lumen. That's in the raffle. Money, I see some comments down there. Ravi, good to see ya. And more will be dropping in. In the meantime, let's get this ball rolling. We are going to jump into some stocks that I got from other places. I got 2 stocks here. One came from a YouTube comment and one came from my Discord group, or was it, can't remember where the first one came from, but I took notes. Discord, my Discord group. Charlie brought this to me. Hey, Charlie, you out there? If not, it's recorded, so you'll see this anyways. We are taking a look at TVGN. This is Tevogen Bio Holdings. She was up 48.5 cents today, about 10.5% gains. This is a penny stock on the NASDAQ, which comes with benefits, folks. You know that, right? All transactions are free on the major exchange, not on the OTC. They get you coming and going. You can trade pre-market, aftermarket. You can never do that with OTC. There's a lot more money and a lot more volume on the major exchange, which is really where you want to be. And there's a lot more rules, which, folks, I got to tell you, I'm digging that. A lot more rules keeps the companies honest, and that just protects our investments. The OTC, a lot of things can happen, and they do, and we're normally the ones that pay for it. So, TVGN. Let's see if we can get a description of what this company is about. And don't take away my highlights, you bloody... took away my highlights. All right, TVGN is a clinical stage specialty immunotherapy company harnessing CD8 concoction to develop off-the-shelf, genetically unmodified precision T-cell therapies for the treatment of infectious diseases, cancers, and neurological disorders, aiming to address the significant unmet needs of large patient populations. Unmet needs is always a neat place to be bringing new drugs because you have little competition, makes your phase trials go faster. It already takes 5 to 8 years. And the last one, Phase 3 is pitting your drug up against competitors, and the more there are, the longer it takes. If there's no competitors, you get through it quick. Plus, you normally get breakthrough designation, orphan designation, fast track designation. These all come from the FDA to help get a drug that there is no other drugs for, so that this gets out there quicker. All right, what sort of news did I come up with for this company? Oh, bloody hell, it took all of them from me. All right, let's see. I got a piece of news here. I got to look at where my highlights are. I had this all laid out for us, so let me see. Tevagen issues letter to stockholders highlighting recent achievements, growth plans, and consideration for possible share buyback. Bet you I wanted to look at this one. Hey, we got to keep them. All right, so this is an update letter. These are always the best to jump into when you have a lot of news presses, because an update tells you everything that's happened and what they plan on in the future. So it's really the best of both worlds. So they tell us here that they've got a couple different drugs. I don't know how many they got. TVGN 489 has gotten through phase 1 clinical trial results, and they've published that. Phase 1 is to see if it's safe. Doesn't kill you. You don't get chronic hiccups or something like that. It's gotten through that. They've got another drug they just tell us they're making advancements on, TVGN 960 for mouth and throat cancer. That doesn't mean they're in any phase trials. It just means they're working on it. The company regarding Tevagen's BioCurrent share price states that they are considering available options, including the potential for a share repurchase to enhance the value of your investment. Start eliminating shares, we get more shareholder value. But they got to make a dent. I mean, I don't know how many we got. We're going to take a look here in a minute. And they don't tell us what their plans are, how many they plan on taking. So right now, it's just kind of talk. But it's on the major exchange. Talk has a little more value here than it does on the OTC. And then we've got another piece of news here. They have been getting money coming in by selling different types of stock. A1 preferred stock, B preferred shares. They got $2.8 million June 30th for some of these A1 preferred. Another $3 million is to be received in the third quarter, which is right now. We're at the end of it, so they probably already got that. And then in June, they got another $3.6 million for B preferred shares. So you're looking at about $9 million worth of money that they've gotten selling shares. Preferred shares, got nothing to do with our outstanding share count. What was the relative volume around the company today? Down a little bit, and she's really down as it is. On the major exchange, I mean, you want to see at least 1 million shares. There's a lot of volume up there compared to the OTC. We are under the radar here. Our daily average has been about 250,000 every day for the last 30 days. Right now, we're at 182 million. Share structure for the company? It's up there about 170 million. I don't know what the float is. They don't tell us what the insiders own, so I can't even calculate it. But we know it can't be any higher than the outstanding share count. So 170 million, or it could be considerably less. There's always that chance. Market cap for TVGN, we're at about 75 million. Is this company making any money? No money annually, no money quarterly. Research and development, meaning they've got no products they can make money on, but they need money for all of their research and development, for all of their phase trials. These things are really expensive. And where do they get that money? From selling more shares, either to us or big investors like we just saw. And they said they've got $9 million now roughly. So that should carry them through. Now, it would be nice to see a cash flow that tells us this will carry us through the end of 2025, something like that. Then you can probably rest assured there's not going to be a public offering taking away more shareholder value. But they're talking about buying shares. Keep your fingers crossed on that one. Balance sheet. Money in the bank, we got about 1.1 million here. Total assets, 3.3 million. Total liabilities is up there, 11 million. So we're holding deficit in this company of 7.6 million. We've got no revenues, we've got no profits, and we're holding deficit. That's not too exciting. Let's see what we have for disclosures. A 42B3. If this wasn't important, if it was, I'd have brought it up. Well, it looks like more money. These are C preferred stock. We saw A preferred, B preferred. Now they've got C preferred. They're creating new stocks, and they sold their first closing for $4 million August 30th and their second closing for $2 million September 16th. And these are coming from big investors, not me and you. So we've got another $6 million here on top of that $9 million. Wow, that's $15 million. They've generated themselves without having to come to us. I'm liking that. Plus, they're talking about buying shares back. Maybe they are thinking about the shareholders. I like companies that think about the shareholders. So there you go, folks. I didn't actually see anything I would call a catalyst, but with research and development, your basic catalyst is a good phase trial report. And they come out every couple of years. And when they come out, you normally see a big, fast run and then a big, fast drop. And then it just goes flat for a long time until your next phase trial piece of news. And then when they finally get a phase 3 trial finished, that's when things get excited because now they can take a drug to market and commercialize it. So let's take a look now at the chart for TVGN. That's my job. I remembered this time.
Your job. Okay, can you hear me okay? All right.
I can hear you good.
All right, so this is the daily chart. We're going back from the first of the year. And it looks like its 52-week low was 40 cents. Its 52-week high was 21.09. But that was this big spike here, and it's more like it's more like $11. And there wasn't any reverse splits or anything, so those are real numbers. So let me zoom in a little bit so we can see what's going on. We looked at this on the 8th of August. And this line was already drawn. I had this as like a support because this was the lowest it had gone, which was around 41 cents. And as you can see, it went right to it and jumped right up above it. I mean,
so we caught that at a good time last time. We had some rise come off of it just afterwards.
Yeah, we looked at it here, and that was the line that I had drawn. So I drew it based on a couple days prior. So since then, it kind of went up and went up right to the 50-day. And then it kind of came down. Now, after it hit that support level, it has come up. You can see that this latest.
Yeah, that looks like it could be another bounce, and I would expect it to do what you see it done twice already, tap that 50, unless something comes along.
Yeah, let's see.
That doesn't look bad.
It's the 4-hour with Heikenashi's. So it's a little better that on the daily chart, this 200 was at about $4 and something, I believe. Now it's down to 63 cents when we go to a smaller time frame. It gets a little better. And these are starting to curl up a little bit, so that's good. We've got 2 green bars. Let's see what the 1 hour looks like. Here we go. So now this final bar is during after hours trading, so we're still moving up after hours.
Oh, that's
and
good.
We've hit this support line several times, so that's interesting. That's good. So
that's a floor there. She was in a downtrend, bounced off of the floor. It's really looking good, as a matter of fact. That's not a bad chart at all.
Yeah, I like it a lot better. I like it that it bounced off that, and that line I had drawn from that previous low right before we looked at it last time back in August.
This looks worthy of being put on the watch list. Even though I don't see any catalysts, to me, it really isn't all about the catalyst. It is about the chart. All you need is a little bit of wood to throw on a fire to make that fire burn a little bit hotter. And right now, she's looking hot, but I'd watch it. Being a research and development company, catalysts don't live long. And we didn't actually see a catalyst there. So, I mean, they're generating money. That's a good thing. People can get excited. They are talking about buying back shares. We may be seeing a bounce on that. But that's just talk right now. And it could be next year. In 2025, we're going to do that. Okay. Never know.
Is the mic better now? Someone was saying that it was messing up. I can kind of hear an echo, but I'm not sure.
I wasn't noticing anything. You sounded perfect to me.
Okay, well, somebody in the chat said that it was.
Well, okay, thanks for that. It was okay for me, but we want to make it okay for everybody. So.
Yeah, if it's still messed up, I'll put on the headset, and that's no problem.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about that chart?
Nope, that's it.
I did want to mention, we were talking about this. We looked at it just before it took off. Well, we didn't bring it to the table. One of our viewers brought that to the table. All of these are. Well, we had one brought to the table last week. I can't remember who brought it. ADD. Taylor said she liked that one last week. She liked it so much. Didn't you play it?
Oh yeah, I played it and it's up 115%, I believe.
Thank you very
117%.
much, whoever that was. That's what we like to see. Hot stocks brought to us. You don't know how much of a change that is. All right, let's jump into the next stock. This one comes from, this is AILE. This came from Vinya from a YouTube comment. Let's see. Does it? Yes. First thing I want you to know is it does have warrants. Whenever you look at any of these stocks on a major exchange, consider the fact that they have warrants. They are always penny stocks. We're looking at penny stocks as it is. You come over here, this thing's going to be super cheap. We're down to 16 cents. Warrants are stock. You can get into them, get out of them. There's nothing different. Play them normal. But if you want to think of them as warrants, you buy them now and you hold them for 3 to 5 years, and they're a coupon that allows you to buy a share of stock cheap. Then they may say you can buy a share at $1. You buy the warrants now and hang on to them. Well, 3 years from now, it's at $20. That warrant says with $1 in a warrant, you can buy a share for $1. You just made $19 profit. Warren Buffett loves his warrants. Every time he invests into a company, he asks for a ton of warrants to be given to him for free because they make you a lot of money in the back end if that company is going to grow. Well, the great thing about warrants is they run hard and fast on little volume when the stock starts to run. If it has good reason and has gone 10 or 20%, do not be surprised to see warrants go 50, 100, 200, heck, 1,000%. Easy. One thing I can say is watch your ask and your bid spread. You want to make sure that when the price moves, the bid moved with the price. Don't think they move together. A lot of times the price will go 500% and the bid didn't move at all. The next 2 or 3 bids will finally get it to move up. So you've got to watch that spread. Back to the stock now. This is AILE, iLearning's Engine. This is an American company. She finished today at $1.33 and she was down about 1.5%. Another hot penny stock on the NASDAQ. So what is AI Learnings all about? AI Learnings is a leading applied AI platform for learning and work automation. iLearning engines enable enterprises to rapidly productize and deploy a wide range of AI applications. Serving over 1,000 enterprises and customers, iLearning's engines is deployed globally into some of the most demanding vertical markets, including healthcare, education, insurance, retail, energy, manufacturing, and the public sector. Now, it seems to me the only thing we really need to concern ourselves with is what's going on with that chart. The chart has taken a big fall after it was running strong, and there's a reason for it. Shorters attacked it, and I do not mean by shorting the stock. I mean they brought out news about the company. They tell us here that the company's team is proud of the AI platform that they've built. The company that the founder founded, he is the CEO, has real products, contracts, and revenue. I would like to reiterate my firm belief that the short seller report put out last week contains misleading statements, speculations, and innuendos. Well, of course you want to see it. It was done by Hindenburg. Hindenburg got me once. Got me about 3-4 years ago when I got into Genius. Genius now is called Cartoon. Well, it was running hard. Man, that bad boy was flying. Hindenburg came out with a report saying they're not making any real revenues and they don't have a product that's that great because the market's saturated with cartoons. They're not going to do well. To me, it wasn't even a good report. I've seen some Hindenburg reports that have got skeletons you never wanted to see, addresses that are made up. Well, once hit, it never recovered, ever. Well, Hindenburg hit this company up. They came out with a report and they listed inflated financials, undisclosed relationships, corporate government concerns, lots of red flags. Well, and one of those red flags down here, the SPAC deal. This was a company that was, I do believe, private that came onto the markets through a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company that has no revenues, no business. They're looking to make a deal and sell this spot on the market. Well, they say Hindenburg alleges The merger was driven by desperation on both sides, as iLearning Engines was nearly insolvent before the deal. Now, I will say this, folks. Hindenburg is not one person. It is call it a hedge fund if you want. They do their homework. They do serious due diligence on lots of companies, and they store them in their cabinets until one of them starts climbing. And then they bring out these reports and they short the hell out of these things. And as it falls, they make all kinds of money. And then they put the shares back and voila, everybody's happy but us, right? Well, where was I going with that? Hindenburg, once they hit you, you are pretty much hit, and they are accurate. I have not ever seen them lie. That's where I was going. I've never seen Hindenburg lie. Everything they come out with has always been accurate. Not as much of a punch as some people say, but if they find skeletons, good luck with that. So, what was Zale doing in relative volume today? Well, she's almost doubled. We went from about 4 million to 7.1. So we got a lot more volume, but she is being pushed down right now with that volume. Outstanding share count is 141 million. I don't know what the float is or what the insiders own. So we know the float won't be any higher than 141. Again, it could be considerably less. Market cap, we're at about 190 million. Is the company making any money? What do they report? Ooh, we got nothing here, nothing annually. Okay. All right. I don't understand. All right, we've got money here a year ago, but it didn't show up on our annual reports. Why not? They say they did $101 million. We got to put 3 zeros behind any of these numbers on these charts. 101 million in one quarter last year, but they had nothing show up on the annuals? Okay. And then here we just did 135 million, and they are taking profit, jumping from 71 million last year to 93 million this year. Balance sheet, they say they got 39 million in the bank, 156 million in assets. Jeez, close, 154 million in liabilities. So we got roughly 3 million in stockholder equity, which is a good thing. It's not much. Looks like they are making money, though I don't understand it. I would probably have to go look at their disclosures, see what their financials are. And I would actually go through more than one of them, and I'll bet you they're going to come up as 8Ks because I don't see any.
Is there something significant from August 29th?
August 29th, yeah.
Echoing, I don't know.
Yeah, it's getting weird now. August 29th. Yeah, we had 2 filings come out on the 28th. Let's see what we've got here. These could be relevant. Appointment of certain officers, chief financial officer, president. Boy, those are some serious positions there. And let's check the other one out. This is a 42B3. Never can tell what these are. They started issuing, they were exercising warrants. 22 million warrants, up to 100 million shares. And when they exercise warrants, folks, we were just talking about them. When you take that dollar in that warrant and get yourself a share and make a lot of profit, they just created a new share for you. It was just given birth. So that gets thrown into the pile of floats. Well, there you go. All these warrants, up to 100 million new shares are going in the market. And what did we just say the share structure was? 141. And what are they throwing onto it now? 100. So now we're going to have 241 million. So I would expect that the stock on the chart probably fell that day hard.
Yeah, it did.
It did. That makes sense. You diluted about 80% of it, for God's sake. We do have an 8K here that came out just about a week ago. Press release came out with this. Yes. This is the CEO letting the world know, I am fighting these shorters. This short report. He says it's wrong. He's trying to fight it, but the damage is done. What can you do now? The stock is already falling. Ta-da! Have fun paying for legal expenses on top of stock loss. All right, let's go take a look at that chart now. Sounds like we've got some interesting details to consider.
Okay, I'm gonna have to move this because I can hear myself echoing bad, just like from the beginning of the chat. I don't know what happened.
Right now, you're sounding good to me, if that makes any difference.
Yeah, I don't know. It was doing that before the show, and can't seem to figure out why because I can hear it. Anyway, so I have these on regular candles, and so I was just seeing this might have been from like an early release of their earnings report. Like this is obviously pretty horrific. Holy cow. Okay, so like we have a complete gap down here. That was on the 12th of August, and then on the 29th of August, we had a gap down from about $3.12 down to 153. So like 50%
Wow.
drop.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good. Looks like our 52-week low is around, I didn't check the exact number, but it looks like it's around 68 cents or so, 70 cents, give or take. Then we had
Well,
this.
that's to be expected. That's the whole problem with these shorters. They it's easy to push a stock down. It's easy to generate fear and doubt.
It's worse than before. I don't know how to fix it.
We can't hear it if that's helping you, but I know it's driving you nuts.
It's driving the people nuts.
Can they hear it? Can you guys hear this? That is the worst echo ever.
I have
Oh,
ch- I have changed microphones. I've tried everything. I can hear it real bad too. I'm
do
not
you
sure
wanna
why.
do you wanna step out and come
I'm
back
gonna have
in
to
with
do
that?
that. I'll just stop talking, and you can talk about this chart, and I'll switch it for wherever you want me to do.
I can. Okay, yeah, it won't take you long to go out and hit that echo reducer. See if that
I've
helps.
tried that.
Uh-oh. Well, what I might need to do then is to pull up this ticker. Which one are we looking at right now? We are AILE. Thank God I have a platform that works just as nice as yours. I don't think it's as pretty, but it works. All right, I'm
Change
good
your
now.
screen.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to have to actually change not just my screen, but oh, you guys are going to have to cover your eyes because I'm going to make you go cuckoo here for a second. My bad. All right, now this should do it for us. Can you see me? There you go. All right, go ahead and see if you can take care of that. And I will jump into this. All right, where are we at? I am on the 5 minute. You are probably back here on the 4 hour. Okay, do we have any reverse stock splits? We don't. She's up here at $20 back here in April. She's been hanging around the 20 or the 200, but look at these rolls. These are big rolls. And then we had our drops here that she was showing you with the gaps. I've got Heikin-Ashi bars here. You'll never see a gap on the Heikin-Ashi. Easy to see patterns using Heikin-Ashi. So we had a big drop right here. This is the short right there. That's where the short came in, folks. And she's been dribbling down. And as she's going sideways, she's crossing all of these MAs. She's actually making headway, even though it doesn't look like it. And right now, she's sitting on top of the 50. And if you look down here, the 200 haul, which most people don't have on their charts, is just about flat. And this is a big deal because the 200 haul has as much authority as the 200 MA. And we're always looking to get on top of that. Well, when the 200 is underneath the price, it acts like a slap. And once this starts to climb, it slaps that price and it pushes it right to the 200 MA. So this isn't looking bad on the long chart. Coming down to a shorter chart, well, let's see if we can get that drop. So there was the drop. Now, I'm not quite sure what was happening here, but she was crossing all the MAs, had that short drop here, dwindled down. Look at all the volume. Now that's the difference here, folks. You can definitely see we had no volume back here. The short actually brought volume in, and now the volume is pouring back in. Like people say, you know what? I think the short is BS. The company looks good to me, and people are starting to come in off of this low bubble. And what do I tell you about low bubbles? A low bubble is a for sale sign. You see a for sale sign, check out if the value is there. If the stock has value, immediately you will see volume come in and the price start to jump because people jump on the bandwagon. That's what it looks like to me. And she's on top of the 50, getting ready to pounce. Come on down to that 5 minute. She's on top. I mean, look, she made a serious change here. Definite decision. She didn't squeak over the 200. She is hanging out way up over the 200, settling in on the 50 after all of this crazy waves. They're getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and now it's finally settling. Now, I expect her to come down to the 200, but she's now on an uptrend. She went sideways the hard way, waiting for the 200. So I'm liking the chart. The chart's looking pretty good. News-wise, we don't have a catalyst. You know, if he could come out with a catalyst, if he could bring out some good news on top of the climb right now, that would really help. How we doing in there? Is she back yet? No, she's not back yet. Well, I know where we're going. Thank God she wasn't actually at the wheel. All right, we're going to jump into the third stock. Hopefully, we'll get our co-host back. This may be the last show she's with us. It may be, folks. And I don't have any standbys, so you're going to have to put up with me. Maybe I can get guest appearances by somebody. But we happen to do this on a day when a lot of other things are going on in the Discord group. So we're going to take a look now at our third stock. Sorry about that. Our third stock, BHAA AI. This came from Velmore. Thank you, Velmore. Again, let's see. We have looked at Vocodia Holdings before. She is at 1.1 cents, 1.2. She's up almost 1% today. She's on the bottom tier of the OTC. Don't let that pink scare you. This is deadly down here, folks. I'm serious. Pinks are the most riskiest stocks you'll ever invest in because there's no information to back them up except what management tells you and shares with you. You don't have CPAs involved. You don't have filings, the SEC. It's just them talking to us. So if you trust them, if you're good buddies with them, you hang out with them, you know what they say is true, go ahead, pour your money in. I've lost more money on pinks than anything else. I will not gamble on a pink. A day trade, get in, get out, man, that's about it these days. Now, I don't mean to hurt your feelings if you like the company. The company seems to have a good product, but they're on the pink, and I'm just telling you. Vocodia Holdings is an AI software company that builds practical AI functions primarily with conversational AI. Now, they are using this conversational AI in a lot of different ways. It has been selected by Medical Exam to revolutionize contact center operations. They expanded into online education with an agreement with an American high school. I haven't dove into any of these folks. I remember reading they were taking a school in New Jersey and they were turning it on to AI metaverse. Kids are all going to have individual instructors, AI, and they were going to get all their education this way. I don't know about all this. Vocodio Demo offers human-like AI interactions. They say they're one of the only companies that has company demonstrations of this product. And they say it is working. And that is what they're building on. Word of mouth right now. They've got these demos to let companies see what they're doing. Then they have pilot programs. Try our product for 3 months at such a going rate or whatever it is. And now what's basically happening is they're converting those pilot programs into long-term contracts, which is what they tell us over here on this piece of news. I'm going to lose my highlights, aren't I? Got them. Over the past several months, reducing our monthly cash burn rate from 1 million down to less than 300,000 has optimized our operations. Additionally, we are seeing substantial progress in converting pilot programs with key clients into long-term contracted revenue streams. They call it DISA. I forget what DISA stands for. It's digital. It's an assistant. Basically, these are AI programs that can sell you a product on the phone. They can do customer service, and nobody knows it's not a human. It's that bloody good. You just don't know. I mean, they will go, sometimes. They act human. They're not perfect. Our next step will be to present compelling case studies from these clients showing case logs, the significant impact of our technology. That's going to be the next phase. When they can take case logs of companies like the company they're looking at now and say, this is how much money they saved, this is how efficient they got, this is how much money they made, that's going to be a selling point. So this could be a very strong way to do business. Again, they tell us that they want to get up to the NASDAQ. They tell us that up here, But everybody says that. Until you see some filing, until you see independent directors listed up here, you can't get up to the NASDAQ without independent directors and without, I think it's like $4 now. I thought it was $3, but I think you have to go to $4 to get there. And you've got to have so many shareholders, so much equity. You've got to meet a whole big criteria. So yeah, they want to get there. Everybody wants to get there. We are onboarding new clients at a faster pace, and our goal is to work diligently towards breaking even by the end of Q4 2024. So let's take a look at some information now about the stock. Taking a look at the relative volume. Oh, God, we're down like 66%, dropping from 37 million shares a day down to 13 million shares today. Speaking of that, let's refresh this and see what we did. Ooh, thank God. So the entire OTC market today did 3.6 billion shares. Back before COVID, we were doing 60 to 70 billion shares. Is this an off day? Hell no. We've been doing this for years now, folks. I watched it fall and we have not come back yet. Share structure for VHAI. Oh yeah, we've got ourselves a low float. And I don't even know what it is. Outstanding share count is only 4 million. Well, the insiders probably own something, so subtract that, and that's what our float's going to be. Even if they don't own one single share, 4 million is an absolutely great float. Market cap for the company, wow. Wow, that's the problem. When you don't have a lot of shares, you normally don't have a large market cap because it is shares times price. So if they had 3 billion shares, oh, we'd have a much bigger market cap. Does that make the company bigger or better than another company? See, that's why I don't like market caps, because to me it's comparing steaks to apples to rice and insects. It's just, depending on how many shares you have, all of a sudden you're in a different category. So market cap to me don't mean nothing. I say it to you because to you it means something. Taking a look now at our financials. All right, their revenues were growing really fast and then took a big drop here from 658,000 down to 256,000. And they're not making very much money, 35,000. Thank God they said they cut down the expenses, which takes away from the profit. Quarterly, what? It just got bad, didn't it? So they're saving money, they're getting more clients on, long-term contracts. Where's the money? I am sick of being told how great business is and you can't show me any dollars. That is a lie. You can't be doing business for free. So I don't know what's going on here, folks. It just isn't adding up. Cash in the bank, we got about 627,000. Total assets, 1.1 million. Of course, liabilities is higher. Why should it be with AI? It's a computer bloody program for the most part. I don't get it. 1.8 million, so we are holding deficit. It ain't a lot, but it is deficit with no revenues, $641,000. Taking a look at the disclosures. Let's see. Checking to see if I had any notes here to make it quick and easy. We had something come out 2 days ago. These are material changes. Notice from the NASDAQ. Transfer of listing. That means they're being threatened. So, is it their price? CBO had decided discretionary authority. Looks like something to do with their warrants. Yeah, okay, right there. They got a couple things going on. Minimum bid price is under $1 for the last 30 days. That's it. 30 days and they're in hot water. Stockholder equity, less than 2.5 million. Market value, less than 35 million. Income, less than $500,000. They're going down to the OTC, folks. They got to fix every single one of these problems or go down to the OTC. No stock split's going to fix this. That would fix one problem. They've still got 3 other strikes against them. So this isn't looking good at all, folks. Maybe there's more information you want to dig around and find. We covered that and we covered that. So I was going to flash this on over to, Taylor's here. I see Taylor. Taylor,
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, it's echoing still. I can hear it.
can everybody else hear it? Can you give me
Probably.
anybody out there hear it? We're looking at your comments right now.
I never heard
Anybody?
it until this week.
We've never heard it. We've never had a problem. I've had things like this happen. It just last week my volume was weird. Sometimes the picture goes weird. All right. Do you want me to cover the chart then?
You have to because it's pretty bad, and
Oh,
it's annoying me too.
yes. Chained Chaos says he can hear it.
Yeah, I
You're,
can hear it.
yeah, he says it's worse than his chains. So we're gonna have to.
I'll still just hang out.
All right. I'm just gonna mute you then.
All right.
Love you.
Love you.
Okay, that's on me. So we were going to go look at VHAI. Is that what we're doing? VHAI it is. All right, VHAI. Let's go back to a long chart. Let's get a glimpse at what's going on trend-wise. Wow. So I don't see any reverse stock splits here. She came on the market, it looks like, back here in February. Had a strong day, pushed it to 588, starting off at about $1.60. Came right back down, and she's been in a downtrend and then just flatlining it boop, for a very, very long time. Let's come on down to that 1 hour, see if we can actually see something. All right, this is when we were watching it once. I think we broke out of that channel. That one's gone now. So we hit a high here of just about 10 cents. We were ripping through these resistances. Started falling. We didn't even slow down on the 200. Came down to this low bubble here of 0006, and we're stuck down there, folks. We're going sideways right now, but this is like we were just looking at on that other chart Taylor was looking at. We are finding ourselves a floor down here, and this is what we need, a floor. All of these MAs have to swell and ebb back up like that. So right now, the best thing that can happen is we go sideways as they do that. When they turn around, they'll create an updraft, which will either suck us up or push us up. So right now, I expect this to go sideways until those MAs turn around. Take a look at our shorter chart. Let's look at a 15 minute. It's a little bit cleaner. Flat. She was hanging on the 200, so the price was where it's been for a very long time. Went into a tailspin for 4 days, hitting this low. I'm not real sure what caused this. Looks like she's finding a floor right there. She's bouncing on it. She has come up to her 50-day now, right? She's jumped up. Again, we've got our 200 haul flat, getting ready to turn up, turn blue, smack that price, push it up towards that 200. Now we always want our 200 to start leveling off, folks. A flat 200 is breakout. If it tries to get up there when it's angled, falling, it's just going to slip and fall and come back down. If it tries to stay up there, it'll pay the price. It'll fall down deeper than where it started. So right now, I'm thinking VHAI is in trouble. I think that last notification from the NASDAQ was the last nail in the coffin. That was too many strikes against them. They can't fix all that. I mean, some of that has to do with a lot of money. Where are they going to come up with all that money? Unless all of a sudden they get paid by all these new long-term contracts they've got. But if you are in this and you're watching it, I would say watch it for tomorrow. Tomorrow, absolutely, the way this chart looks right now, this looks like this is about ready to turn, and I would watch this start to climb. As soon as that comes up, if it's not on your charts, just expect it. As long as this starts pushing up, that's going to turn too. That's the 200 haul, H-U-L-L. I think they call it the haul crossover or haul resistance. Put in the word haul. It'll come up. All right, so from a charting standpoint, she's in a downtrend trying to recover, but I don't think she has a reason to recover. Just my opinion. Let's take a look now at that next stock. Matter of fact, before I do that, hold on. I don't want to blind y'all. I just want to take a look over here at the comments. Hello, Brian. Latecomers, glad to have you here. Are you still doing the extra stocks at the end? Yes, we are. Taylor, gee whiz. I'm presuming Taylor's still there. Taylor, can you still pick two stocks for us? Oh, Taylor's turned herself off. Good girl. Yeah, one way or the other. We'll get to it. So let's get into that next stock then. We are now going to take a look at IDKFF. Funny, I just made a comment about this stock the other day on Twitter, and it wasn't a nice one. This came from Mark Ryan. Thank you, Mark. IDKFF.
Turn your screen on.
Oh, thank God you are here. My savior, my savior. I'm so befuddled. All right, IDKFF. I'm excited about this company, but I'm just a little disillusioned. This stock has got everything going for it. She finished today at about 25 cents. She was up over 4%, and she's on the best tier of the OTC, the QX. It's the top tier, as close as you get to the major exchange. You get all the same filings as you get from the major exchange. Plus, we've got every green tick down here you could imagine, including penny stock exempt, which is a good thing. Even though they're 24 cents on the OTC, they are not a penny stock. That's not what they're considered in the market anymore, because they've proven themselves to be a reliable company, not risky like a startup company. And they did that by being in business for 3 to 5 years, having millions of dollars in assets or revenues during that time period, and keeping up with their filings. So this is a great company to be looking at. Now, I did an interview with this company back in June. They are invested in over 70 breakthrough technologies. Let me see. I got something here. Let's just start here. I made a bunch of shorts. They got a program out there. You throw in your video, it'll make shorts for you like this. Puts in the words and everything. Really cool, but they want me to pay for it now. But I came over here to remind myself of some of the great things they've got. They're with one company called Palatronica Cyber Attack. Now, understand he doesn't own these companies. These are not acquisitions. These are security investments. He's buying a portion of the company, so he's part owner in them. This company here has a product that works, I don't know exactly how to explain it, with a frequency screen. It's a shield so that when negative, harmful information is coming to your computers or your consoles, it blocks it before it ever gets in. It can determine it's harmful before it gets in. It's like a pre-reader. So they've got that product. Another one they have is Hypercycle. Google has partnered, so they say, with IDKFF with this product. Google says this is $1 trillion opportunity, and they want to be a part of it. This is AI Internet. AI Internet is going to incorporate AI into our Internet. No, not one AI, AIs. Any AIs, all AIs. It will be a community of unhindered AIs on our Internet. We will have an internet you have never, ever even considered. We have no idea what this is going to be. I have a little intrepidation about it myself. Putting all of these AIs together and saying, see what you guys can come up with. Have fun. Party. So, but this is sitting on the table. It was supposed to have been launched this summer. I did just see some news about Infinity, another company that they are highly invested into that should have launched this summer. So I thought. Another one here is TotaQ, micropayments. Going to change the way we do business, folks, completely. Micropayment says you don't need a subscription for anything anymore. You want to go to Netflix and watch a movie? Pay to watch that movie. What's it cost? 28 cents? Netflix will take it. Instead of you going away, not subscribing, they'll take your 26 cents. Maybe you just want to play a game for 23 minutes because you've got 12 cents in your pocket, and they'll let you play for 12 cents. This is going to change how we do business. People have too many subscriptions. They can't keep up with all those bills anymore. But here's my fear. My fear is we're going to be broke all the time now, folks. We are going to be spending every penny we have in our pocket for what we want because we have no patience to wait for what we want. I don't think this is going to be a good thing. When I was in Scotland, they had half packs of cigarettes being sold over there. Tenors. Let me tell you what, folks, the poor people bought those. And if you started selling a cigarette in a jar, that's what they would start buying. People always go to smaller because they don't have to spend as much because they need money for something else. I'm not quite sure if it'll be good for us, but it's going to be good for business. And here's the thing. Micropayments is going to change everything. Credit card payment cost you 50 cents. Now it'll cost you 0.2 cents. super cheap. Everything will come down in price because of the way they do these micropayments. It brings down the expense. So we are looking at another $1 trillion idea here. And he is in 71 companies that have all these different type of technologies you just can't believe. But he promised a lot of things were going to happen this summer. Nothing really happened. And I was waiting for him. I got in. I'm still in. I still believe in the company, and I'm excited about what they're doing. So let's see what sort of information we have on the company right now. News-wise, going back to July 24th, more acquisitions of securities. Company announces securities purchase agreement with Serio Diagnostic Corporation. I have no clue what they do. Reports in connection with the acquisition of securities AI ML Innovations, AI machine learning. Acquisition of securities in Infinity AI. Announces completion of securities purchase agreement with Serios. Acquisition of securities of Quebec Innovative Materials. And here's the thing. 3D Capital announces unaudited net asset value per share 86 cents. I tell you all the time, folks, if you take all the shares outstanding and divide them into the stockholder equity, the assets, you can come up with a close number to what the stock is worth based on solid assets like gold backing something. Well, he's done that, and he says our stock, based on our assets, 36 million in stockholder equity, is worth 86 cents. We're down here at 24 cents. So one could say it is undervalued. What was the relative volume around this company today? Big jump. Not a lot of shares, but it's a big jump. It's like 6 times, going from 56,000 up to 302,000. Share structure on the company, about 57 million. Insiders own about 6 million. That gives us about 50 million. Now, it's not a low float, but folks, anything under 100 million is a good float. Take my word for it. When you look at companies that have billions of shares, anything under 100 million is a decent float. Taking a look at the financials, we got nothing on the quarterly or annual, nothing on the quarterly too though. But the balance sheets, as I said, we got 9,000 in the bank. That's it. Too much yellow. 9,000 in the bank. What do we have in assets? 30 million. Look at that. Liabilities. 500. You know why that is? Because he's a holdings company. This company has no business of their own. They don't generate any revenues. All of their assets are in other companies. So his overhead is nil. His office. That's about it. So we have stockholder equity here. That was close. 29 million, 30 million. It's taken a jump from 10 to 43, down to 39, down to 29. You wonder how that happens. What did they get rid of? What disappeared? But still, you've got 30 million there, so you're going to divide the shares into that, and that'll give you a value for the stock as well. Disclosures for the company. Check my notes, see if I've done any homework over here. No rev, lots of equity. No, have not done any homework, so let's take a peekaboo. No, we don't have anything since February. A lot of these 13Ds and 13Gs. 13Ds and Gs are new investors coming on board, investing into this company, becoming part owner, if you will. They're investing in a securities purchase agreement. All right, let me highlight this so we can take this over. This is a whole new game for me, isn't it? Wowza. So, let's see what we've got here, folks. Going back to our long picture. Well, we've already got some supports and resistances drawn up here because I'm trading it. I'm watching this stock. So, this is 6 months. We had a high 6 months ago of 64 cents. She had a nice rip here. She jumped from 26 cents, which is pretty much where she's at right now, 25, and she went up to 64 cents. Came all the way back down lower than where she started. Coming down here, and she laid down here for quite a while. She crossed the 200 and really didn't do anything here either. She started the climb, hit her head on the 200 and fell again. And she has just perpetually been rolling downhill. Now this looks to be possibly an all-time low. No, our all-time low is 13 cents. So that's good to know. We are here at 16 cents. Volume is getting strong right now. Our 200 has just gone flat, folks. I tell you all the time, when the 200 goes flat, that's when you see breakouts. Just before it goes flat, you'll normally see an initial breakout and it'll come back down. When it goes flat, you will see a breakout. All of your MAs are starting to climb now. The price is pushed up, hit a strong resistance, pulled back, and we are up here, way above the 200, with volume coming in and all of our oscillators climbing. Every single one, PPO, MACD, and the RSI, which is in the overbought. Jumping down to our 20-day 1 hour. Well, there you go. We've got a double top here, right? It looks like the letter M. After the letter M, you normally have a push down. All of the MAs helped that. They were all coming down too. Hit this low, and that ricocheted off of that low, folks. All of our MAs were definitely falling, and she sliced through all of them. And look at that 9-day, cut through every single thing. Now, what worries me here is our price. It was right on top of the 9-day, but this bar here pushed it up, and now we've got all this air in between the price and the 9-day. You've got to watch that. Any air between the price and the 9-day, and how much air do you get between each MA? Those are rubber bands. Only stretch them so far, and then they come smacking on back. So me, myself, I'd be watching this for a pullback at least to the 9-day. We're up here at 24. I could see it coming back to 23, which is where it's at now. Wherever the 9-day is, that's where I'd be watching. Oscillators, all of them, still going to the moon, still hot. 5-day, 15-minute, downtrend ended right there. Definitely down, definitely up. We are cutting through our supports and resistances. Our next one, now these are all on my Fibonacci. Let me back that up. On the Fibonacci, you can use a big drop or a big, we got to go to the 4 hour. That right there. You can use this. Now you could come in here and try to draw supports and resistances, but it's kind of tough. So what I do is just come to the very top, poke the top of the extreme movement, doesn't matter if it's a jump or a drop, and then come down to the bottom. The reason I do that is it puts lines up above instead of down here below. I did this one backwards, obviously. But then when you do this from top to bottom, you get these lines, which are algorithmic supports and resistances that are not attached to any historical price point, but are valid. We can trade on them. The price is going to respect them. So there is a big gap right here. Chances are we do have another one. Now, as a general rule, if you have a big gap on your S&Rs, your supports and resistances, just split it in the middle. Generally speaking, you'll find that's pretty good. It's not on the money, but it's normally pretty good. So, IDKFF, coming down to that short chart. She is in a climb right now. It would be nice if we could get some financials, if we could get some money. I mean, we need a launch. The whole point was here, he said that he was going to be launching onto the NASDAQ. 3 or 4 of these companies this year. Every company they spin out onto the NASDAQ is going to give you free shares, dividends. You're going to own stock in this company, and then you're going to get a ratio percentage in that new company. Then they spin out another new company, you got shares in that. And how would you like to be involved with AI Internet? How would you like to be involved with micropayments? Companies that Google think are trillion-dollar ideas. They also say that they have another very Fortune 500 size company that believes in these products, and they're on board as well. But we haven't heard that name yet. He said he was going to release it. So I'm hurting right now because we're just not seeing enough activity. I see a lot of building. I like that. We do have assets. That's great. But we need to see something start happening. I'm getting a little eager here. Summer is over, and I did wait patiently the whole summer. All right, so IDKFF, I'm still in it, and I'm going to stay in it, and I'll probably buy more because, well, just because it didn't happen doesn't mean it's not going to happen. All righty now, let's go back to our stocks. This was an interesting one. Didn't see this one coming. This is Trafe. Trafe came to me from Valentino Prasuti. This Trafe finished the day at 13 cents, and she was up 30% today. On the middle tier of the OTC, the QB, We like to think of this as the better tier. It's better than the pinks. As I said, the pinks don't give you any validated information. Here, you're required to give validated information. You start filing 8Ks, you start filing financials that are audited. You've got to be at least a penny to be up here. No sub-penny stocks allowed on the QB. So you're more transparent, you're more trustworthy, you're more growed up. We got those green ticks over here, verified profile and a transfer agent. And this one right here, this certification is because they're from Canada, not specifically Canada. They're a foreign company. This means they are in alignment. They've met the criteria, they've validated themselves, and this is the proof they've been certified. So everything's good. So they tell us here that Iberia is a luxury performance-driven skincare company whose line of products are based on customized modern blend, which combines high levels of active ingredients, smart adaptogens, and broad-spectrum CBD. Well, yeah, maybe. Oh, by the way, this is wrong. I haven't updated this, so let me check. We're going to see. Nope, I had it highlighted right there. This hasn't had any volume today. This has not. It was 13 cents yesterday. They had 30% jump yesterday. Today it has not moved at all. You can see right there, they tell you the very last trade that it had was at 358 yesterday. So, what is it I want to share with you about this company? Well, they tell us here that during the year ended December 31st, 2023, the company made the decision to discontinue the operations of its subsidiary, Ambery Beauty. So what we just read, no, they ended that. The company entered into an agreement for the distribution of Ambery products in India through an e-tailer shop and brick and mortar chain, but now they don't expect to complete that due to the decision to discontinue operations. Bummer. Also during the year December of 2023, the company began to focus on liquidation distributors to alleviate storage costs on inventory held at 2 storage facilities. They're serious about it, folks. Due to the slower movement of inventory through the direct consumer retail channels. No duh. Look at their revenues. There's nothing there. It just wasn't selling. This decision allowed the company to direct more attention to the research development of the company's artificial intelligence software development. When you got nowhere else to go to AI. This is the way it was back in the metaverse days. You know, just before COVID hit, the metaverse was hot. Everybody was getting into the metaverse. Whether they were or not, they said they were thinking about it so they could at least put it in their headlines. July of last year, the company commenced research and development towards an artificial intelligence-powered software named Scarlet, with business-to-business and consumer applications. The software is intended to provide cutting-edge artificial intelligence technology and augmented reality to further personalize the beauty experiences of customers. In late January of this year, the company announced the beta version was available. As of June, Scarlet is available on the Apple App Store. So they were making progress here. They are moving into AI. They've actually got it on the Apple Store. That's a product that is out. Voila. Glad to hear it. So we've had a change of operations here. So anything to do with this skin blend stuff, probably not legitimate anymore. Taking a look at the relative volume. Oh, that dropped really hard. And, you know, let's just take a look here at the news. That's from 2023. We got no news. And just looking at the disclosures for the dates, we've got nothing here. 8/22 management discussion, which is what I was just sharing with you. That was the last piece of news we had. So I don't know if she's been falling or what, but we're way down there to 900,000. No, 900 shares. That's not even 1,000 shares, folks. Whoa! She was doing 5,000 before, so she is way, way down. She's got a lot of shares out there, 56 million. Insiders own 34. We get the rest, 53. It's not a lot of shares, but that's about all they've got right now. Financials, are they making any money? They were in 2021. They're not making anything annually. They're not making anything quarterly. They've got some money in the bank, 93,000. You can pay your 2 employees and yourself. Assets, 128,000. Total liability, $73,000. So we are holding stockholder equity here of a whole $54,000. Woohoo! And we've already been through the disclosures. So I don't see anything going on. I don't know why she would have jumped 30% yesterday, unless the chart was in some sort of pattern, setup, configuration that just made it look good. So, since I can't tell if Taylor is good or not, we'll just go on with the party. We miss you, Taylor. Jumping back to 4 hours. We need a new ticker. Let's throw it in there. There we go. TRAFE. 4 hours, 6 months. Wow. Not a lot of bars. That kind of looks like a 5-minute chart or something. So that is 6 months worth of trading, pretty much going sideways once she came up. She was down here at 3.6 cents, hit 16 cents. That's a nice rip there in 4 days. That's like 500, 600%. Came all the way back down, even lower, down to 3 cents, and popped right back up. And she's been hanging around up here. Finally, we've got another SMA on the board, a 20-day. And she's hanging around the 20-day. Bars are getting a little bigger, starting to push up. Wicks are pushing up. It's about as positive as you're going to get with this chart. Oscillators. Well, everything is pushing up. Let's see about this MACD. MACD, yes, we got a crossover. Woohoo! She's climbing. Everything is climbing very slow. There's not a lot of excitement here. Hourly chart. Sideways activity dropping to about 3.5 cents, jumping to 16, dropping to 6, coming up to 13. You know, that's not bad scalp zone, to be honest, folks. You know, 6 to 16, 6 to 13. You're looking at 8, 10 cents, somewhere around there if you scalp. You know, you buy a bunch of shares and you go to the next point and you get out. You're not there for any other reason but to take a little off the top. Ta-da! So she doesn't look like she's got a whole lot going on right now, and going down to the 5-minute isn't going to give us a lot either. Well, she's on an uptrend, right? 6 cents to 13 cents again. Scrolling across. Now we've got a 50-day. That just came into the picture. And all of them are just about ready to go up. Our 20 is flat. Our 50 is just starting to turn up, and our 9 is climbing. What we need is volume. We need some volume. If this company could come out with a piece of news, how about that for a start? We haven't had news in a long time. Tell us that you've got AI. Get a headline out there. Maybe you can cash in on it before everybody's cashed in on it and you're late. All right, there wasn't much to that chart, was there? What is our next stock? I do have one more left. This is number 6. This is NBRI. This came from the Underdog. Now, this is a gold mining company, but unlike a lot of gold mining companies, they do more than that. And I'll share that with you here in just a minute. NBRI, they are out of California. Finished the day cheap, 0007. I don't see any gains here. That doesn't mean that she didn't move. Just at the end of the day, she finished where she started. She's on the pink tier. She's got her validated information. They say she's a shell risk. Now, shell risk normally means they're in business. They're doing something to generate revenues, but they're not reporting any revenues. Well, they just passed a rule not too long ago that when you make certain acquisitions and acquire assets in those acquisitions, they become business. You've just started business. Even though you're not doing anything, you just made a purchase. So they could have just made an acquisition, which I think they may have done. Because when I'm looking at this company, they are a mining company. I'm over here at their website now. They tell us that North Bay Resources is revolutionizing gold mining industry with a fresh approach. They are going to acquire and operate small, high-grade mines with low processing rates, in contrast to large-scale, low-grade deposits and high processing rates. Now, they tell us that they've got 3 projects here, but I think they've got more than that. I think they've got 4 because I've seen fresh news about Mount Vernon, and Mount Vernon isn't talked about here. Excuse me about that. That was my Discord group. They should not be doing that. Come back. Come back. That's not where we were at. This is it. What you see here is copper mines. and they tell us that they're gold mining operation. Well, a lot of people don't know it, but when you go after gold or copper or silver, all those metals are in there. They all hunker together. They all get along. One big happy family. So you may be in copper mines, but you can find a lot of gold and silver in copper mines as well. No doubt that. But what makes this company different is they've got a mill, a gold mill. I don't know if they use it on any other metals. I don't see why they couldn't. But this is a crusher. And this is a good way for them to get gold out of the rocks. And they use this to get the gold, and then they process the gold, and then they ship the gold, which you see over here in the news. Now, I'm not going to go through all of it. They're working through a lot of these, and they are finding gold, and then they have another survey and find more gold. I'm just looking at the most recent ones here. August 22nd, the company announced its first gold concentrate at Mount Vernon Gold. See, we didn't hear about Mount Vernon on their website. The assays say there is 12 ounces of gold per ton. Whoa, that's rich, folks. 12 ounces of gold for every ton of dirt, rock you pull out. And 17.5 ounces for every ton, you are going to get platinum. And then 8 ounces out of every ton for silver. Whoa, out of every ton, you're going to get 12, 29, 30, 38 ounces of precious metals. That is rich. That's the one in Mount Vernon. Then on the 26th of August, the company announces gold assays up to 2.2 ounces in the Fran Gold Project. They are commencing gold shipments from the gold project, the Gold Fran Project, and they announced Mount Vernon Gold Mine bulk samples. So now they're getting lots of gold, bulk samples. Yeah, with 12 ounces coming out of a ton. That's outstanding. Take a look at the relative volume. Let's see if the miners got excited about this. No, really. Okay, we're doing less than half our normal volume. Now remember, this is an average. You could have numbers out there like 250 million shares 2 days ago, and today they'll show you 59 because she was doing 30 and 80 and all these other low numbers. But 2-3 days ago, we could have had a huge volume spurt. You never know about that, and you need to know. So I like to run over to Yahoo Finance, put in your ticker and go to historical information. It'll show you everything on every day, the high, the low, the open, the close, and volume. That's what you need to be looking at. Share structure for NBRI. Wow, 7.5 billion shares. Good news is the insiders own a lot of them, 2.6 billion. But we get twice as many as that. We get almost 5 billion. So when this company, not if, when this company does a reverse stock split, they're going to get hit just as hard as we do. Market cap for the company at that cheap price with all those shares, we are just at 5 million. Financials. Are they making any money? We got nothing annually, nothing quarterly. Ooh, that's ugly. $1,000. It's not $1. It's $1,000 in the bank. Got to keep 1,000 in a business account to keep it open. Total assets, 433,000. Total liabilities, wow. Jiminy, $4 million. Gee whiz, these small mines are quite expensive, aren't they? And we're holding most of that, $3.5 million. So we have no assets for us. We have no revenues. We've just got a bunch of words. You know, a bunch of words. That's what we got. So disclosures would be the last hope we have here. Nothing since 2018. And if you want to go through their financials, they are here. They are all caught up. But I don't see, what's this? Change of control. You may want to check this one out. Back in April, they had a change of control. Normally, this is a good thing. And I didn't read anything about that, so I have no clue what is going on with that. So I do not see any catalyst here, you know, unless you're a miner waiting for something to happen, because this is like research and development. You've got to wait. They are spending money looking. I want to get into companies that are doing something, making money, pulling money out, not still throwing money in. So this could be a good company if you're into mines. I really am not a mine man. All right, Not downing minds, just letting you know my opinion. Let's go take a look at this now over here. Back to the long picture. She's been flat a long time. This is what you get with most 000 stocks. A barcode, a picket fence. It just bounces between two numbers because it's nowhere else to go. There's no middle zone between 0003 and 0004. That's not exactly true. There's no middle zone for me and you. You might see the price at 00035, but you can't buy it. You have to pay 4 or 2. The only people that can go half are brokers and marketers. So whenever you see a 0.5 in there, that's who's doing that. So we got a lot of bouncing here up and down for how long? 6 months almost, 4 months. Then we had a rip here. Was this the change of control? No, it wasn't. Change of control was back here. There was no excitement during change of control. This happened at the end of July. We had a nice spike there going from 0002 up to 0006. I don't know what the spread was on the ask and bid, but if you could have caught that, that would have been a 300% run right there. Trickled back down, came underneath the 50, took a big jump here. Man, she went from 0003 to 001. I love 001. That's over 300% right there. Now, over 001 is normally when you start to pick up some momentum. She hasn't quite gotten there yet. She's tagged it. That's a good sign. She's pulled all the way back to her 50. She's bouncing back up. Remember, there's no middle ground here, folks. The nice thing about the Heiken Ashis is that you get these partial red bars. Where did it go? Oh, how did that happen? Let me back up here. Yeah. Those wicks is what I wanted to show you. You get these bars in the wicks. You don't get that with the regular bars. You just get a line, a line, a line. These bars show me movement. So when I'm looking at the big picture, I get an idea. You can actually see these bars inside the wicks. So we have a climb going on here. She's pushing back up towards that 001. All of our MAs are pushing. The strong ones, our 200 is already climbing. Volume has been steady. Oscillators at this very moment aren't looking good on the long chart. Every single one of them is pushing down. Coming down to our 1 hour. Well, that's looking better, isn't it? We were on top of our 200 here. Jumped up to that 001. Came down to our 200, which is now lifted up after that push. And now she's floating over that and settling on our 50, which isn't bad position. Our oscillators, well, they're not falling now. They're starting to level off. That's a start. And let's come down to our 5-day, 15-minute. All right, she's going sideways. You can see the 200 here. She's taking a dip, and it looks like things are rolling a little bit. Honestly, I can't project that it's going to go up or down. She's doing too much sideways activity. If she does get above the 001, and I mean above it, like 0011, let's get above it. From there, you might be able to start watching this for a push. But again, I don't see any reason to run. They're talking about gold, but until they start bringing in money, you're pulling it out of the ground, you've processed it, you've got concentration, sell it. Sell some of that and make some money already. Okie dokie. That covers all the stocks that we had. Now I've got to come back to you. Let's see. Taylor, are you there? Yeah, you are probably. All right. Let's see. Additional chart, Lumen. Okay. Looks like Taylor's picked them for me. Thank you, Taylor. We had a bunch of them in here, I guess. I haven't been able to keep up. MNPR from Brian. Thanks, Brian. If you didn't get picked, I'm sorry, but it's not up to me. See what else is here. I don't see any others. Folks, where's all your tickers? GAWD. Thanks. Oh, that's not a ticker, is it? Charlie Tuna. LUMN. Looking for one more. Okay. We'll jump into ticker LUMN. Let's go get some information about this first. All right, since I haven't done any preliminary due diligence on this, I am just going to do it the way I would normally do it. Lumen, let's see, she is from Louisiana. She is in the United States. She's over $5. She's not a penny stock, but we're not going to exclude her. I've looked at the stock. I think I've even made a video on Lumen. I think. So she used to be a penny stock. Just because she's successful and moved out of the ghetto and gotten up there somewhere else doesn't mean we're not friends with her anymore. Lumen Technologies is just about at $6, up just a little over 10%, and is on the New York Stock Exchange. Let's see what we can learn about the company from the news. Dive into it. Oh, we got no news here? Me no like that. So let me tell you what. I am going to grab up, follow me here for a second, folks. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to grab my new favorite site. I'll bring it over here. Oh, look at you. Nobody told me. I see it now, folks. I see it. Who's screaming? I'm coming. By golly. This, right? I hear you. Lumen, $5.99, up 10%. New York Stock Exchange. We have no news. Nothing whatsoever. So what I was doing here was I was bringing you on over to my favorite news site here. And I figured we could look for it here. Lumen. All right, this is a site that uses AI to go through the news, and it'll rewrite the news for you in a condensed version. Ooh, that's kind of nice. It'll also give you a lot of other information, and they got a scanner here too, up at the top there. Momentum scanner. This thing's hot. I love this, folks. You should be over here using it if you're a day trader. All right, our most recent news came out September 3rd. Lumen announces exchange offers for unsecured notes of Lumen. Now, we still don't know. Hopefully, we get a full news press down here. Darn. I'm trying to figure out what Lumen does. I get this feeling that Lumen is involved with EV. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but that's the feeling I get. I can't find a description here. He didn't have one over there. Lumen selects Blue Planet to underpin its network inventory transforming program. Let's see here. You can get bullets down here. Consolidated of multiple legacy inventory systems into a single platform. Creation of a digital twin for improved network planning. This don't sound like no bloody EVs to me. Bloody heck. All right. Well, we're not getting any information on what the company does, so I'm going to dive into a 10Q. Let's see here. Dude, company does what? Come all the way down below the blue. We are a facilities-based technology communications company that provides a broad array of integrated products and services to our domestic and global business customers and domestic mass market customers. We operate one of the world's most interconnected networks. Our platform empowers our customers to swiftly adjust digital programs to meet immediate demands. Revenue recognition. Okay, so that's what you do. So you're working with some sort of digital products. Now, I wonder if a person could find a website. That's always a good place to go. Even, what is this? The internet? Is that what we're talking about? Broadband service? I was not under the impression that's what this was. CenturyLink. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Lumen Technologies has got CenturyLink Drive as their address, CenturyLink as their as their website. Does that sound right to you? I would have thought Lumen had their own website. Why did you bring me here? What a pain in the butt. All right, let's get on back there. Let's get some information here about the company's stock. What was the relative volume today? Way down. Dropping from 61 million down to 18 million. Share structure? Way up. We're over 1 billion shares, and we don't even have a heads up here of what the insiders own, so we don't have a heads up on what the float is. It could be huge. Could be anywhere up to 1 billion or anywhere down to 500,000. Authorized shares? They don't even tell us. Now, why is that? This is an American company. Yeah, I don't get that. You're supposed to list how many shares unless you're foreign. A lot of times you don't see it, but they're not. Market cap, 5.5 billion. Woo! See what I mean, folks? Look at that, 5.5 billion. That's because they got 1 billion shares. Wow, that makes them look gigantic. What's their financials? Well, goodness gracious. We got to add 3 zeros to all those numbers. So we're looking at billions of dollars. Wow. So 4 years ago, we were at 20 billion and she's been falling ever since. 19, 17, 14.5 billion. They were making just a little over 50% and we're still just making a little over 50%. So their profit margins are the same, but the revenues are dropping fast. See, we got 3.6 down to 3.5, 3.2, and less 3.2. So we are still falling year to year, quarter to quarter. Don't know why that is. Balance sheet. Wow. Lots of money in the bank here. $1.4 billion. Bet you don't have all that in one bank account. Total assets. Holy cannoli. We don't see this with penny stocks, do we? $33 billion. Oh, I was hoping for a huge equity pile here. $32.4 billion in liabilities. So all we get is a measly $466 million. It's just under a $500 million, folks, which isn't bad. So they are making revenues. They're falling. They are making profit. It's the same profit margin. And they do have stockholder equity, but it's falling. So that's a little scary right now. I would project that when we look at the chart, it's falling. Let's see what we've got over here for filings. We got a new investor, SC13G. This is Mr. Dan Hagen. Now you can have more than one investor on these, and normally they'll all be connected. It could be the company, the CEO, the owner himself, stuff like that. We've only got one here. Dan, he has just got himself 55 million shares. Woo! And that's only 5% of the company. Right? They got 1 billion shares. So we do have someone that just came in, and I can't remember which is which, but a 13G and a 13D, the difference, one is a silent partner, just gives them money and lets you work it. And then the other one wants a voice in the company. He wants to have some say in what goes on. I do believe that covers everything. Did I go through this properly? Yes, I did. News. We didn't have any news, did we? News. Where did that come from? It was blank before. Thank you very much. So let's see here. Seeking Alpha. I can't read Seeking Alpha. They blocked me a long time ago because I've been going to their site too long for free. Lots of sites have done that to me. Bloomberg. Gee whiz. God, look at this. So if you want some information about their financials, they sure got it here. Lumen connects the world. We are igniting business growth by connecting people, data, and applications quickly, securely, and effortlessly. Everything we do at Lumen takes advantage of our network strength. From metro connectivity to long-haul data transport to our edge cloud, security, and managed service capabilities. We meet our customers' needs today as they build for tomorrow. So I guess they got broadband. They need to have a business site. Maybe we missed it. But they're obviously doing a whole lot of other things as well. So the company's making a lot of money. They are definitely, it's falling, but compared to the stocks I look at, that's a heck of a lot of money. I don't normally see stocks doing $30 billion worth of business. Take a look at the chart for Lumen. Lumen. Who saw Rudy? Good movie. I like Rudy. Alrighty. Going back to the long chart. Let's go back a year. Wow. So we've been flat. I mean, we've had some jumps here, but overall, she hasn't had a lot of enthusiasm, not going anywhere. She's been banging her head on that 200. She got over it a little bit here. And man, how long ago did I look at this? I got lines going way back here, folks. I'm going back. Let's see, I got a 3-year here. I do. All right, all the way back to 3 years. You know what? I didn't put these here 3 years ago. I can see the price. There was nothing here where I've got these. When I was looking at the stock at this point, there was nowhere to get supports and resistances until back here, which is what we're going to have to do now. Any supports and resistances you want to use, you're going to have to grab off of this. And every one of these bars is an entire week of trading. So I'd have to go make a special chart that would break this down into maybe hours. I don't know, 5 minutes would just be a huge chart. But we're going to have to get some S&Rs. As you can see, volume was pretty steady. But right here, when all the activity came in, it all changed. Also want you to notice here, folks, we are on a yearly chart, a weekly chart. Look at our 200 haul. Just turned blue, right? It just turned blue. When did our stock burst? Did it burst back here at any point? No, not until that 200 haul turned blue. I'm telling you, folks, this is a fly swatter. Smacks that price right in the ass, and it goes to and through the 200. This is something I've discovered. You're not going to find this talked about by anybody else. This is something that is true blue. Come on down to that 4 hour, 6 month. Flat. Let's just zoom in. So we were looking at it here. I was looking at it here. She started climbing. We're getting some strong bounces, but look how she is respecting that 9 day. She is floating on that 9 day, came down. Where did she come down to? Looks like she actually fell down to some supports and resistances. She did not reach the MAs here, the 200 and the 50. Bounced off of the support, took another flying leap up to $9.64 from $2.58. Wow, 1 day, folks. What a rip. Came back down. We've bounced on our 20. We're laying on our 50. Now let's get a full picture of what's going on. Laying on that 50 and starting to climb. Right there, she's turned up and she's getting on top of that 200 haul. That 200 haul turns blue. What's going to happen? It's going to run. Look, folks, the 200 haul has as much authority as the 200-day MA, but it has a special relationship with the price, and most people don't know this. The 200 MA takes 200 days of prices, averages them together. Ta-da! You get a point on the chart. Wow. The 200 haul does the same thing, but it puts more credence on current prices. It can relate to the current price. So the price relates to this MA. They have a buddy system going. And you will see that the price will come down, falling. It'll come underneath everything and land right on the 200 haul just to get a boost of power. And it will launch and go through all the MAs again to and through the 200. Folks, if you haven't got the 200 haul on your chart, you really do need to use it. I've been using it for about 2 years, 3 years now, and I have seen what it can do. It's a powerful MA. Let's take a look at our shorter charts here. How about a 15-minute? Wow, we got a lot of bouncing going on here. We're going from $5 up to $6, back down to 5, back up to 6. So we got a 50-cent jump right here as our 200 is finding neutral ground in the middle. That's all she's done. She's found her neutral ground. All of our MAs have crossed it, come up. The price took a big, strong leap today, but now she's going sideways. She could, it's a possibility that she bounce off the 20, but the 20 looks a little bit far away from these two down here. Honestly, I would be watching this to come all the way back down to these strong supports, where not supports, MAs, but your MAs are supports. Wherever these are tomorrow, I'm going to be watching because the 20 is already curving over. It's already curving, and it's pretty much at its cusp. It's almost flat, folks. Now, yes, it could do that, but most times when you see things starting to curve, they curve. So I'm going to expect this to come down, tap this, and then maybe take another launch off. 5 day look any different? Not really. She's going sideways. Hard. Look at that. Nice steady climb on the 50. Got up on the 20. And that's where she's laying right now. So this does look good to me. I'd put this one on my watch list for tomorrow. I'd see what happens. But I wouldn't enter until I seen exactly what she was going to do. And in my opinion, I think she's going to come down and bounce. Here we've got the 200 on our 5 minute. That could easily be where she goes. Let's see now. That is everything I've got, so I've got to lean on my silent partner over here, Taylor. I know I got so many windows open, folks. I'm having a hard time keeping up here. All right, let's see. Did Taylor come up with one? Additional lumen, looking for another one. Who going to keep John right? Taylor. Oh, right. Who's going to keep John right? Yeah, that'll be a thing that I'll have to remember. But see, when I don't have someone else here, I don't have to bounce back and forth. I can just put on one application, and then I don't have to really worry about it. Even if that means I'll be streaming from the hospital bed. Taylor, come on. You've got these poor folks worried now. What determines when the hall changed color? Oh, it's purple when it falls and it's blue when it comes up. I chose those two colors. It's the only one I do it with because it has more significance to me than any other MA on the board because I've seen what it does. When the price is between both 200s, the regular one up top and the blue one, purple one down at the bottom, and all the MAs are in the middle turned up, when that bottom one turns blue, watch it launch, folks. Watch it launch to and through the 200. Then it'll come back down. But that is always 9.5 times out of 10. This thing is running like that. I love me 200 haul. I'm still looking for that last one. You know what? We're not going to do it. You're good, Taylor. I see we're at 5:36 here, folks. I've kept you for an hour and a half, and it's been a bumbled show. We have been all over the place. I have been all over the place, dragging you all over the place. So, hey, I appreciate you bearing with me if you're still here. Thanks a lot. Yeah, there is a very strong possibility, folks, that Taylor will not be here next week. And if not next week, the week after. Probably, absolutely, mostly for sure. But I don't know for sure. And it's not anything bad. So don't worry about Taylor. Taylor's doing good. I'm going to be back here come Taylor or not next week, Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I will try to make sure I'm all put together. I know I'll be the only one here, so I'll try to keep it as smooth as possible. Not quite sure how many stocks we'll be able to do because, to be honest, an hour and a half of talking, my voice starts to go hoarse. And if I feel myself doing that, I'm just going to have to cut it short, which is where we're at right now. So thanks for being here today, folks. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. See you, Taylor.